All right, and joining me today is Nathan Ghareeb, who fights Josh Harvey at LFA 222. That fight is on November 14th. So, Nate, I wanted to start here. You got a chance to come back to LFA after fighting for the promotion earlier. I know you've been fighting in a whole bunch of different places in New England lately. What was sort of part of the decision to fight again for LFA?
I mean, I liked fighting for LFA. Obviously, the result didn't go the way that I wanted it to, but they came back. They're coming back to my area, and I wanted to get an opportunity on a bigger platform like LFA. I think it's a promotion that can get me closer to the UFC, especially getting a finish. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm really excited about this fight. The last two were really just for me to try to get back in there and just stay active. And I think this time, obviously it's a big opportunity. I don't try to like blow it out of proportion or anything in my head, but it's LFA is a great promotion, so I'm just excited to be able to be a part of that. And I'd really like to make a name for myself this time and show people like I think you got to see in the first round of the last time I fought for them, like how good I can be. Just slight errors and some shit went on, and it's just the name of the game. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and you mentioned that fight too. I wanted to bring it up, but obviously you had such great success early in that fight, and now we've seen what
Yeah,
Larry and Douglas can do, right? Like Larry and Douglas,
right,
goes on Contender Series, absolutely murders a guy. So like
right.
knowing that, is it hard knowing that you had so much success against the guy who you know is now there? Is it better knowing like where do you fall on that?
I mean, honestly, it is what it is. It's like I said, it's part of the game. Like I've never been knocked out before. I've never been knocked out in training, never been knocked out in a fight. So it's like it was something that definitely was like a new experience for me. And to see him go on and have success, I mean, it's like I think it's good for me in a sense where it kind of like shows like, okay, this guy's like serious. And I don't know. I think I would honestly fight him again. Like I don't think that his power is like that scary. I think he started to find himself and figure out like who he is. And it's just I mean it shows like I can hang with guys like that. Like I can be in there. Like I mean I fucking outstruck him like 37-3 in the first round. And then he came out and kicked me in the dick like in the first 10 seconds, which was smart by him. Kind of like ruined my flow, but it is what it is, man. It's just I don't know. I mean, I did it makes me hungry where I'm like, okay, so you're there now. So okay, now this is where I have to go because I want that one back. Just more motivation, I guess.
I like that. Now you mentioned LFA coming into your neck of the woods too, and I know you've kind of bounced around in terms of training and where you've lived in your life. I know Tapology's
Mhm.
got you were born in the Midwest, but training out of Coconut Creek, Florida. But I know you as a Northwest or Northeastern guy. So tell me a little bit about like what's training camp look like for this one? How close to home are we fighting for this fight?
Yeah, so I moved back from Florida so I had moved back in December and then went out there for like a camp and then I came back here and decided to like stick up this way. I've been so before I went down to Florida, I was training with my striking coach who ended up going to Florida as well, but northern Florida, and I went to South Florida. And he moved back, and then like I shortly moved back after. So I'm training with him at a gym called Springfield Submission Society, and I used to train with them like way back in the day. And then I go out to the New England Cartel out near like Lawrence, which is like a 2 hour drive for me. And then I go to like some of the other like local gyms to like get other extra training. But it's good, man. It's good to be home. It's good to be around family. Good to be around like my original tribe. I got a lot of support here, so I'm like, it does help. I think a lot. Like when I was down in Florida, it's like I had my then at the time wife, and then like some friends. But I think like having a tribe is so important, and like having a community of people around you does make a huge difference. So being up here is good. I feel like I feel good. I feel ready. I feel sharp again. Working with my striking coach, like he to this day, I still believe he's one of the best striking coaches that nobody knows. He's pretty low key, but he's like one of the smartest guys. He just like understands fighting on a level that I've just not come across in anywhere. And I've been all over the place. Like I've traveled and trained all over the country, all over the world, and I've trained with some of the best, and I just think that he's just one of those guys that he understands me. We have that like training, and he just knows where I need to continue to progress, and It's not just like us hitting pads and like getting a workout in. It's like we're actually like learning and breaking things down and like adding pieces that like makes it sense, and it's like all built into a system. And I think that's kind of what I needed, like I've gained and gathered all this knowledge, and I always needed someone to help me put it together, and he's certainly done that. So and I think like because I fought August and then I fought was it September I fought? No, I just fought like 3 weeks ago, but in October. So just like kind of just keep building off of that, off of that, off of that. I always do better the more I fight and consistently I fight, and that's really what I wanted. And I feel good about this, man. I do feel like this is gonna be my best fight out of the last, the last couple I've had, and I'm just ready to showcase better version of myself, I guess.
And so you mentioned too having your tribe and your people in your corner. How important is that for you come fight week? Because again, you fought all over the place. Your last couple have been close to home. This one, probably a bigger crowd than some of those other ones, and close to home. Are you? I'm assuming you got a huge crew coming out. Tell me what that's like for you.
Um, I think it's like changed over the years, but like people like heard about this one, they hear about LFA, they're like, oh, like we got to go to this fight. It's at Foxwoods. And I think a lot of people after my last fight were really excited because like not a lot of people came to the last one, and it was out near like closer to Boston. So I'm like 2 hours west of Boston. So it's like people get out of work and they're like, oh, I don't want to drive all that way, but then they hear Foxwoods, they hear Casino, oh, fighting, you're on a win streak right now. It's exciting because in previous years, I think like especially being younger, I just like it made me more nervous. But like I'm at a point now, like I'm 32. This is gonna be my 16th pro fight. Like I'm excited, like all these years have like accumulated to this point. Um, Harvey's a matchup that like he's kind of been calling me out for a couple of years now. He's been like DMing me a ton about like wanting to fight, especially when I was at 45. Now I'm like at 55, and I'm like I feel more comfortable at 55. Like I've aged, so I'm a little bit bigger. I'm always chunky, but like I feel more like settled into 55, and I think this is a perfect fight for me at LFA Foxwoods. Like it's all like accumulated to this point, so I think there's gonna be a lot of people there, and I'm really excited. A lot more of like the local people from my area come out because like MMA is not big where I'm from, especially like no one knows that it made it to the UFC from here, and like I'm right there. I've always been right there, so I would love it for people to come out and like see this and watch this because there's like a little bit of bad blood between Harvey and I think this is like the perfect fight in every way, and I'm just like taking it all in, enjoying every moment, and I'm excited to show everybody like what's been like my growth,
Yeah.
progression, growth, and like where I am now compared to where I was. So
Well,
yeah.
and so you mentioned that bad blood with Harvey. I wanted to ask then too. So when LFA gets you on the phone or they call your manager or whoever they get a hold of and they say, "Hey, we got a matchup for you and we want you to fight Josh Harvey," like what were sort of your first reactions to that being the offer?
So actually, what ended up happening was like Harvey had asked the matchmaker for Combat FC if we would, or I guess he had like reached out to them about fighting me in October, and then because there was I don't know there was some like complications, and then he wasn't able to. I think he had a son or something like that, so then he couldn't fight. So like I thought I was gonna fight him in October, and then he ended up like being like, "Oh, we should fight later," and I was like, "Okay, man, like whatever." Like I just assumed it's just like whatever, or it's personal stuff, or like he just doesn't really want to fight. I don't know. But then it ended up being where LFA, I started talking with LFA, and they just like offered him, and I was like, "Yeah, this is ideal. I mean, like I'll fight him. Like I've been wanting to fight him, and I know he's been wanting to fight me, so it's like." I wasn't surprised. Like I think like as long as I'm around here, like if you're gonna call me out at this point, it's like I might as well just like step up and fight you. And like I said, he like right after my last fight, he was like DMing about fight. Like, yeah, well, fucking LFA's in a couple weeks, dude. Let's just roll it. Like I'm ready to fight, whether it's now, then, whatever. And I know he'd reached out to LFA, and LFA was looking for someone for him, so I was like, here we go. So
And
here we go,
yeah, and then stylistically too, you mentioned you like this fight from a stylistic standpoint as well as the name itself. How do you feel? Give us a quick little breakdown with obviously not giving too much away, but a little breakdown of this fight stylistically.
Well, I mean, like he's definitely like a heavy grappler. Um, he was like saying that he wanted to like stand and bang, and I was like, okay, dude. He's like, everybody tries to take me down. I'm like, dude, I hadn't seen one fight where somebody tried to take you down. Seen you trying to wrestle a lot, and that's fine. I mean, I spent 3 years at ATT. It's the best grappling gym in the world. Like grapple at this point, it's like if you want to grapple with me, you can try. It's not gonna go well. Like I'm confident in my stand up. I'm very confident in my stand up. I'm very confident on the ground. But realistically, like I'll just tell you what's gonna happen. He's probably gonna try to strike with me. He's not gonna find his range, and then he's gonna try to shoot and hold on to me, and he's gonna struggle. He's gonna get tired, and I'm gonna put a beating on him. And that's just tell him what the game plan is. You know exactly what it is. You can watch this whole interview and know that you can do whatever you want, and it's not gonna work. Like I'm just that confident in my skills. Like that's not like me being like cocky. That's me just telling you how it's gonna go. Like he has a lot of very basic cues. He doesn't have good control of his range. Like he doesn't know how to measure his range. There was a lot of just kind of like empty, like there was a lot of empty things. Like you could tell like he doesn't know how to measure himself. And that tells me a lot about like your approach to fighting is I'm going to throw all this paint at the wall and hopefully one thing sticks. And then if that doesn't work, I'm going to try to get a hold of you. And then it's like, he's going to be bigger than me. Like that's very obvious. He's a much bigger person. I don't give a fuck. I just think that he's a guy that like you just add volume on him. And I think eventually like I'll get to the point where I can break him. Like he just doesn't have a whole lot of knockouts against like what I would consider like legitimate people. I fight tough guys. Like it's very clear that like if you look at the people that I fought, like even the journeyman that I have fought, like that last guy I fought had like 25 fights. That dude was fucking tough, man. And he was a very good striker, like he was like not some like bum. It's not like I'm fighting guys with like flip-flop records that are like coming in there to lose. The guy hit me with a beautiful step and elbow and like fucked up my nose. So it's like he almost fucking took my head off with like 3 head kicks. They were beautiful. Much respect to him, but Harvey just isn't, in my opinion, he's just not on that same level. He's tough. He's big. He can grapple. He's very crafty on the ground, but I think if you push him to a certain point, like I think his breaking point is a lot smaller than some of these other guys, and so I intend on putting that pressure on him and making him feel that so that like I think he'll look for a way out is my opinion on the matter. And I do believe that I can finish this guy. I see a lot of holes in his game and I'm going to exploit those.
Well, that brings me perfectly to my last question. I usually like to try to get a prediction out of fighters. So LFA 222, November 14th. You said you think you're going to break them. You got an exact prediction for me?
An exact prediction. This time, not so much an exact prediction, but I just think that the volume's going to overwhelm them. And I think that I'll get to a point where it'll either be a TKO or I'll find a submission of sorts. Because if it does end up on the ground, I just think that like I'm just like a wiry guy on the ground. I just feel like I still haven't had the ability to show like all the stuff that I can do on the ground because like I'm so well known for my striking and I have had so much success in the striking. But I do see that I could see a submission coming, but I think a TKO is really he hasn't been TKO before. I want to be the first to do it. So I want to be that guy. I want to be the one to take that along with
Ah,
me.
all right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. This has been Nathan Ghareeb, who fights Josh Harvey, LFA 222. Once again, that fight, November 14th. Nathan, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.